How much money can you make with YouTube Shorts? Good question. Is it going to be worth your time or effort for your business to even look into it? Well, it's always good to get your numbers down before you make the leap. So let's cover that right now. We're going to go over the basic components of what you're probably going to need to think about before you start a YouTube Shorts channel or add shorts to your repertoire for your business. First of all, what is the bare minimum requirements before you can even start to make money with YouTube Shorts? Let's go over that first. Second, when does it finally start to kick in? Well, we'll go over some math there too. And finally, let's actually talk dollars and cents, shall we? And compare it to your regular long-form content. So let's get started. Making money with YouTube Shorts is very similar to making money with the YouTube long-form content and making money on radio or TV or podcasting or any other type of advertising medium. Basically, what you've done is you've spent your time and effort cultivating an audience, and now advertisers want access to your audience in order to show them their products. So, you're the gatekeeper here. What's it going to be? How are you possibly going to get those advertisers to recognize you and see that you've got an audience waiting in the wings for them? YouTube does it very simply. Subscriptions and how long are people watching? So to start with, you're going to need a minimum of 1,000 subscribers. Get to 1,000 subscribers as quickly as you can because that is going to affect the next number. So after you get your 1,000 subscribers, now you've got a bunch of videos out there and you've got a bunch of people watching. Great. What YouTube is looking for is to make sure that you have got 4,000 watch hours in the last year or 10 million minutes in the last 90 days. Either one are going to take you through that. 4,000 watch hours in the year or 10 million minutes in the last 90 days. I want to make sure that you're clear on that. 4,000 hours, 10 million minutes. 1 year, 90 days. Big difference. So how many videos are you going to need for that? Well, quite frankly, that's going to vary from topic to topic, subject to subject, and how many viewers you've got. Naturally, something really short, well, you're going to need a lot more of them. Long form content, it better be very captivating because you want to keep people watching longer. And that's the whole point that YouTube is looking for. These are all advertising metrics that now you need to be aware of. What we called it in the radio biz when I was working in radio is time spent listening. And the time spent listening, or TSL in radio, is what basically they're measuring with the 4,000 hours or the 10 million minutes. They want people to be riveted on your channel to know that they're going to be sticking around long enough to not only see their ad once, but multiple times. Advertising works with repetition. How many times have you heard an ad and jumped up out of your seat and said, I gotta get that right now? Probably none. They want to be able to expose you to that ad over and over and over again. And the longer that you're listening to that channel, they know, the advertisers know, that this channel fits with their demographic, it fits with their product, so they want to keep bringing it back to you so you'll see it again and again and again. It's repetition that will finally move you to action. So basically think of advertising as putting a nail through a board. If I had a nail and I was putting it through a board and I tapped it once, if I let go of the nail, what's happening? It's probably going to fall. Well, that ad is the nail and your mind is the board. We got to make it stick. So repetition, how many times you play it, is how many times the hammer hits the nail. Now, let's say the next day you hear another one. I'm going to tap the nail again. Chances are it's going to fall. Hit it again. Chances are it's going to fall. But the dent is starting to appear. Then over time, once you've heard that ad several times, again and again and again, finally that's hitting the nail several times. I can let go of the nail and start driving it through. You're still going to hear that ad repetitiously, but it's still not quite moved you to action yet. Well, finally, that nail goes all the way through the board. If they've played it enough, they've got the nail through the board, turned it around, bent the nail down, and it's not coming out. Now, what is that part that they're up against that's making it come out? What's the thing that's making it so it's not as memorable, that you keep forgetting it? Well, it's called sleep. Every time you go to sleep, your brain is going to sort through all the stuff that it needs to keep and all the stuff that it doesn't need to keep. And trust me, advertising is one of those things. I know it's a... Please don't shoot the messenger, okay? You don't want to hear that your advertising is for nothing. No, that's not what I'm saying. Your advertising needs to repeat so it becomes something. And it's that repetition and that sleep at night that erases the mind, and you have to start all over again with that nail and the hammer. But eventually it does stick. For example, ba-da-ba-ba-ba. If you said, I'm loving it, McDonald's has you. You've got the message, okay? That's the point to advertising. So if you're in the process of setting up your business YouTube channel, or maybe even your podcast, this is a good place to start. At least I think so. That's what we cover here. We go over lighting, we go over cameras, we go over filming, editing, shorts, long form content, all that kind of stuff. So be sure to like and subscribe to make sure that you know when the next subject comes up. It's probably going to help you. At least I hope it does. Now, what's the difference between YouTube Shorts and long-form content as far as getting paid is concerned? Very good question. One of the big things that they measure it by is the RPM. That's rate per mille, M-I-L-L-E, the term for thousand. I know it sounds strange, doesn't it? But it's the Latin root, mille, M-I-L-L-E, so it's rate per thousand. How much are you paying for every 1,000 viewers? For YouTube long-form content, you might be making $1, you might be making $20. There's really a big fudge factor in there in the middle, but your RPM, your rate per mille, rate per thousand, is going to fall anywhere between $1 and $20 for every 1,000 views, once you've broken that threshold that we talked about earlier in the video. Now, for short form content, anything less than a minute, are you sitting down? That's anywhere between 1 and 7 cents per mil. $1, $20, a penny, 7 pennies. It all has to do with retention and watching, because they know that your shorts are only going to be that long. There's not a lot of time to throw in an ad to hit that nail a few more times. There's just not the opportunity. So they pay according to the opportunity. Your long form content, between $1 and $20, hey, go for it, run with it. Your shorts, between 1 cent and 7 cents. I wouldn't exactly call that retirement money, maybe gas money, definitely the cherry on the sundae, maybe not make it the focus, because after all, your focus is going to be getting clients, right? Clients pay off with lifetime value a lot better than 1 to 7 cents per thousand, wouldn't you say? So check out some of my other videos, because we go over YouTube for your business on just about everything else here. So be sure to check those out as well. So in the meantime, we're talking about all this YouTube and getting it down to shorts. I've got a list of free video editing software. Not only is the list free, but the video editing software on the list is free. It's kind of like a free. It's a double free. There's a link down below in the description. Click on that and get your free copy of the free software that'll help you make your YouTube shorts. I'm Nick Natarello with AdWise Creative. Thank you for watching.